Hello and welcome to the next part of the complete road design tutorial series. In this video, we are going to proceed with quantity takeoff. We'll discuss on earthwork and materials, where we are going to calculate our pavement materials and cut and fill volumes. We'll also discuss on quantity takeoff criteria settings for our earthworks, that is cut and fill, and for our pavement materials. We'll discuss on how to compute materials and also how to generate the volume tables. Let's get started. So from the toolspace palette, if you go to the settings tab, we can drop, and here we have the quantity takeoff. If I expand it, notice that we also have quantity takeoff criteria. So we can expand it again. And if you had watched the previous video, remember that we had imported styles and settings from the COSTECH template file. By importing the settings, we can also be able to import quantity takeoff criteria settings. So for this video, since we want to learn how to create from scratch, we can click here at the quantity takeoff criteria, then right click, then click new. We are going to start by computing our materials for our cut and fill. Under information, we are going to give this a unique name of cut and fill. We are going to name it as new quantity takeoff criteria cut and fill, or you can give it any name. I will go to the materials list tab, and from here we can start by adding a new material. I will click add new material, and I will name this material cut. So we can name this one here cut, and from here next we can choose the data type as surface, and then we can add our existing surface, and we can also add our corridor surface. Next, we can click on add new material again. We can name this one fill. For this one, we are going to set the quantity type as fill, and also we can add the existing surface, and we can also add our corridor datum surface. So for cut condition is anything that is below the existing ground and above the datum. And for fill is anything that is above the existing ground and below here the datum. So for this one, we have completed to compute our cut and fill materials criteria. We can also change the shape style from here. So I'm going to click here, then we can give it another shape style for the section. So I'm going to drop, then look for since this is for cut, I'm going to look for any cut condition. Like for example, you can pick on the Indian cut material for this one. And for the style for the fill, you can click here to change the style. Then for this one, you can also pick an Indian fill. So I'm going to enlarge this. Then you can scroll, then pick Indian fill material. I'll pick the Indian fill material, then hit OK. Then you can press apply. Then you can press OK. Now once we have completed to define our criteria takeoff, we can proceed to compute the materials. To do so, we can go back to our model, pick on any sample line, then you can go here and compute the material. We can pick the alignment, going to select road 1, and the sample line collection is sample line collection 1 for road 1. Then you can hit OK. Here, we are going to set or select our criteria. So I'm going to drop, then select the new quantity takeoff cut and fill criteria that we have earlier created. For the calculation, we can set to average end area. For the surfaces, we can set all to existing surface. And here we can set to the corridor surface for the datum. Okay. Then we proceed by clicking OK. Now our materials have been calculated and have been stored within the drawing. So to generate the report, the next thing we need to do is generate volume report. So I'm going to pick generate volume report. We can drop, we pick our alignment. For the material list is under material list 1. And we can then proceed to select a style sheet. So if we go here, I can pick on this one for earthwork, since it is for calculating the quantities for the earthwork. Then we can hit open. Now we can press OK to view our quantities. So we see our cumulative cut and fill from this document. So that is how we can calculate our cut and fill. So I will go to the Analyze tab. Then here we have Volumes Dashboard. And we also have our volumes and materials commands here. So I'm going to go to the Volumes Dashboard, and I'm going to create a surface for comparison for our volumes dashboard. So for this one, we can give it a unique name here. We can name it Earthwork Surface. For the base, we are going to set the existing ground surface. And for the comparison, we are going to select the datum surface. Now we can hit OK. And notice that you can also be able to set our cut and fill factors from here. And if we scroll this other side, we see our net graph for our cut and fill. I will click here to close. And if you go to the tool space, then prospector. If you go to tool space, then prospector, we expand the surface. Notice that we have our earthwork surface. So we can select it. Then we can go to select. And now we can go to, we can right click from the model space. Then we can go to object viewer to view our surface, which has been created. This is now the road surface. If I change from the style here, let us do a conceptual. You can see our corridor surface. This can be used for grading, and we are going to discuss grading in the next month. And we can see also our median and the other corridor surfaces. This is for the ditch and also the ditch at the median. So I'm going to cancel, and you can proceed to create the other material list. So I'll go back to the tool space palette, then settings tab, right click on the quantity takeoff criteria heading, then select new. Under the information, we can name it as material list. If you go to the material list, you'll notice that it is empty. I will first hit apply, then OK to save. In order to create the material list, it is important to know the shape codes used in your corridor design. You can do so by selecting your corridor, then go to the corridor properties. From your corridor properties, you can go to the codes tab, and from the codes tab, you can expand on shape. So expand shape, and we notice these are the codes used in our corridor for both the lane and the shoulder. So we have PAV 1, PAV 2, base, and the sub base. So these are the shape codes used. We also have points. Now points represent the edge of traveled way, the crown, edge of paved shoulder, and the rest. We also have links. Links now is for the top. Pave 1 also is a link. Pave 2 base. Links are the lines, and multiple links create a corridor shape. So with the shape codes used, defined, or identified, I can now hit apply, then OK. Now we can hit escape, then go back to the tool space palette, then settings tab. We can go and select this one which we have earlier created, then right click, then go to edit. Now we are at our quantity takeoff for the material list. Now if you go to the material list, we can start by adding our pavement materials. So for this one, we can name it as asphalt. For the quantity type, we can drop, then change to structures. Now here, for the data type, we can choose the corridor shape. And from here, we can now drop and select pave 1. If you drop, notice that we can only be able to select the corridor shapes used while creating our corridor. So for this one, I'm going to select pave 1, then click add. I'm going to add a new material. This one I'm going to name it as binder. And notice if I add here as pave 2 without changing the quantity type to structure, it will not be able to allow us. So if we click add, we cannot be able to add shape to a non-structural material. So I'm going to change here to structures. Now we can click add. We can add a new material. We can name this one the base. Then we can go to our corridor shape, select base, then add. Okay, since we need to change here again to structures, then add. We can go and add a new material. This one is for the subbase. We change the type here to structures. We pick the subbase from here, then we add. We can also change the shape code style used. So for example, this one, all of them have been set to basic. So I'll hit apply as it is for now, so that we can be able to view the difference at the section views. So I'll hit apply, then OK. Next, we can now proceed to compute the materials for the materials list. So to do that, you can go to compute materials here, then select the road 1 alignment and the sample line group. From here, notice that if I expand material list 1, it is for cut and fill. We can also be able to add or import another criteria from here. I'm going to do so, and I'm going to import the material list criteria, then click on OK. For this one, I'm going to change to average end area. For pave 1, you can click here, select pave 1, and for pave 2, or you can click map objects with the same name like this, and the software will automatically map the subbase to the subbase and the base to the base, and also pave 2 to pave 2. Notice that we have our material name here. So this will be the material in the material list. It will be asphalt. This one will be binder. Next will be base and subbase. So I'll hit OK. And now if we expand material list 2, we see that for this one we have material list 2 for the pavement, and the material list 1 is for cut and fill. You can hit apply, then OK. Now our pavement materials have been calculated. We can proceed by going to any sample line, then go to generate volume report. We pick our road 1 alignment, and this one we're going to select material list 2, the one which has for pavement also. And now if I go here, then pick on select material and hit OK, we should be able to see our pavement materials here for our asphalt, binder, base, and sub-base. We can be able to view our cumulative also station section sample. So that is how we compute and generate materials for cut and fill, and also for our pavement thickness. We can also discuss on how to add the tables within our section views. So I'm going to hit escape. Then if we zoom at our section views, we can change how the material sections look at the section views by selecting any section view. Then go to view group properties. So in case you want to hide the material sections from the section views, you can go to the sections tab, and now we can uncheck the sections here for sub-base, base, binder, asphalt, like this. When we hit apply, the white ones will be removed from the section, but they'll still be available in the drawing. So to enable them back, you'll need to go to the view group properties again, section tab, then enable them from the draw here. So I'm going to pick on the corridor, and I can change the code set style from here, from without hatching to example section rural. Then I'll hit apply, and notice what will happen to the code set style of our corridor. Now we hit OK. Now we are able to visualize our corridor links and also our surface within the section views. Okay, now we also have the corridor labels added. So to add or remove these labels, we can go to view group properties here, and we can pick on our corridor. If we change the section plotting again, code set style, from this one to new road, let's change to the new road, assemblies and labels. Now if we hit apply, we see that we have other details, and these are controlled by the code set style used. So if I pick here again, I'm going to set it back to the ANZ code set style for section. This time we can go with the section. Let us use for section here. And to edit the labels, you can edit from here. Edit label set. So I'm going to click on edit. Going to change from no. Going to edit the label set from here. I'm going to change this label set to, we are using, the previous one was corridor points. We can also be able to utilize grade breaks and corridor points. I'm going to set to grade breaks and corridor points, then click OK. And this time if we hit apply, they have been removed. So that is, we hit OK again. Now this time we can go and update the layout group. And if we go to the view group properties, we can go to the corridor again, and we can pick or select another label set. So for this one, I can set back to corridor points. And if we hit apply, and we can also be able to change the label set style settings. So if we go back to our section view, we can go to change volume tab here, and we can be able to add tables for our sections from here. So from here, you can choose to add a material table and also a total volume table. So I'm going to I'm going to add a material for cut and fill. And you can also add the total volume. If we add, I will remove this one by setting the gap to 0, then hit apply. So for total volume, it should be material list 1, and for the material, it should be material list 2 for the pavement layers. Now I'll hit apply. Now if you press OK, then apply, then I'll press OK. Notice that we have now tables for each section. Like for example, at this section, we see that we have the material for the table, the cumulative volume, and also for cut and fill values along each section. We can be able to further modify this by going back to the view group properties, then go back to change volume here. And now for this one, you can pick this one and place it to the bottom left. And for the anchor here, we can switch to the, we can switch back to the top left and bottom left. We can now hit apply. We can also add the offsets for X and Y. So I'll need to change the Y offset. Let us give it a value of -50 for the Y offset. Now we can hit apply. Next, we also have the table layout. You can choose horizontal or vertical. So I prefer horizontal so as to save space. Now if we hit OK, then apply. Okay, we see that the value of 50 was too much. So let us go back and set this offset value to a value like 10, -10. Let's hit apply, then OK, then apply, then OK. After editing the changes, we can click here to update the group layout. So once we click there to update, all the sheets and views will be updated. So just like this, we have our section views, we have our materials, okay, but we'll also need to edit such that this one is not interfering with the table. You can add the spacing between successive section views so as to eliminate this interference of the volume table and the section views. Example here again, you'll notice that it will be past our sheets. So for this one, you can be able to manipulate how, like let us just go back again. And this time we go to the group plot style and we edit the values. So this one we can input a value of 50, 50, and now we set it to the center line. We hit apply. OK. We press OK, then apply, then OK. I'm going to click on update group layout. And we see that now our section views and our tables have been well organized. So that's it for this video. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you did, don't forget thumbs up. And in case you are watching this channel for the first time, kindly take a second or two, hit the subscribe button so that when I produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I would like to thank you all for the continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. We can meet in the next video as we discuss on plan production and generating plots and reports. That's it for this video. See you in the next one.